kicks, the pain we can't hush, and then they find us. We're the real tough guys, breaking down barriers. We aim for the skies. Into the octagon like a warrior I stand. Slaying blows, taking hits as I command. The art of combat, I'm ready to go. Submission, knockout, that's how I flow. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast. Locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling with might, the golden octagon. The stage we ignite. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast. Locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling like a golden octagon. The stage we ignite.
And we are live from the Golden Octagon Studios in Norfolk, Virginia. This is the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D. Rose.
And you can find me in St. Louis rolling on dubs, smoking on dubs, rolling on dubs, mean mugs. I've messed it up, dude. I had to channel my inner Nelly for the show today. Shout out Nellyville, one of the first albums I ever owned. But welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. My name is Matt. D. Rose is on that side of your screen. The UFC is in St. Louis this weekend, and I am excited, D. Rose. We got some violence this weekend to talk about. I'm excited to talk about this show. I already have more money than I would have liked to bet on these fights. Already bet, you know. Kind of a wild little fight night card, dude. But before we get started too much into the show, D. Rose, how you been over the past week? And I'll get the chat pulled up real quick, brother.
Things have been great, and I was kind of talking about how my gambling has been going, the last couple of weeks. I've been striking out, I will say last week, and we'll talk about the card, but ended up being a good card, and I ended up coming out winning some decent money this weekend. So hit a couple of different parlays that kind of come out ahead this week. So just trying to get that build, and we're gonna try to lay down the one day get the courage to do maybe like a $300 bet like you did that one time, but I got to build the account first. I can't just do it off of a whim.
Yeah, I don't know if I got something in my eye or throw something on my glasses, but now I feel like there's for sure something in my eye. I don't know. Anyway, with that being said, let's shout out the chat. I'm glad you're doing well, D. Rose. Glad you won this past weekend. Hopefully you keep it rolling, and hopefully I can win something. And, one of these days you'll maybe at like UFC 302, you'll do a $302 bet or something,
There we go.
All right, let's get into the chat. Another Golden Wednesdays with the boy. Shout out Lushlow, man. Appreciate you stopping by tonight, my guy. Good evening, everyone. Will we see Beangate tonight? D. Rose is going to be eating some beans, but we'll get into that. We got Mick the Big Superfractor. Let's go. Appreciate you stopping by. You're super old, brother. The Ruffy dude was a stud, indeed. LFG. We've got, what's up, guys? Good money making card. I believe so, Tim. I believe so. What's good, homies? Or what's good, homies? I beat Elvis. Like I said, I would, boys. Me and my little felt hat can't be stopped. Yeah, dude, that's a cool hat. Mick the Big. It was a block of ice, indeed.
Kyrgyzstan. The very own Mick the Big.
Yeah, we got our first donation of the night. Riley with the $5 Canadian. I appreciate you, Riley, saying Golden Wednesday. Shout out Riley for stopping by and hanging out with us here tonight. We got Sugar Sharp saying present. Appreciate you, Sugar Sharp. Mick to Bick 100% club seals. We got a J Wolf. I don't know if you sent a little super chat there, but it doesn't show up on the screen. But I appreciate you, Jay Wolf. Thank you for the $1.99 donation or super chat, brother, whichever one it is. Here we go. There ain't no ocean where I'm at. Land seals, and we got Lush Lomain with the choo-choo all aboard. I appreciate you, Lush Lomain. You are that guy. I appreciate it, my guy. And then hell yeah, Nelly, batter up. I'm the first swing.
You were singing that before too, so
Dude,
you and him were on the same wavelength.
I know. I remember when Nelly was cool. Yeah, dude, that was back in our days. I don't know why I always associated Nelly with Chingy. Yeah, I remember Chingy.
I believe they did some music together.
It was a Holiday Inn.
Yeah, there you go. And then they kind of had same era. So yeah, I can't be too mad.
Yeah, Matt's got a Band-Aid super sticker, the longest yard. Yeah, Nelly was in the longest yard, dude. He was the running back, dude. No one can stop him. He said he didn't have shoes where he came from. He's like, it's all right. We ain't got shoes where I come from.
He was nasty though.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, Nelly.
It was super clean chat, brother. I felt terrible for missing Monday. It's all right. Jay Wolf, you can stop by next Monday and we'll just open up your cards then too, brother. It's no big deal. We got Polman with the $5 saying, keep the train rolling. I appreciate you. Tim, boom, boom. We're rolling through. And we got Rise saying, what's up, Tim? That means we are caught up, D-Rose. So let's get into what we are going to be talking about on the show today real quick. So we'll recap UFC 301. Yeah, that was this past weekend. It kind of feels like it was a week ago.
A month ago, at least.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And then we got some beans to be eaten on D-Rose's side. Look at him, already nervous. Look at him. Look at
who? Me?
Like,
me?
Yeah, you.
Hold on, I got to go back and see our picks real quick. Hold on.
And then we got some UFC fight news and announcements to go over. And then we will get into our UFC Fight Night. Derek Lewis versus Rodrigo Nascimento or UFC St. Louis, our preview and our picks for this upcoming weekend. So with that being said, D-Rose, let's just kind of do like this. Like we've been doing for the most part. What we're going to do is D-Rose, now that I'm looking at this thing, Costa, Burrito, Roofie. Yeah, they all won.
I was like, burrito.
Yeah,
no.
Like, because you got me like that, like fucking thinking, like, damn, did he win this past weekend? And I'm like, no, I had to go back and check. Nah, you're trying to bullshit me over here. D-Rose going to be eating them beans. Yeah. All right. With that being said, D-Rose, let's do it like this, like we did pretty much the past 2 weeks, or I guess however long we've been doing it like this. Let's just run through or just kind of recap as a whole. I'll do mine and then I'll kind of pass it to you. I'll let you know if I won any good bets or if what I got close to winning, and then might just kind of recap of the card, and then I'll just kind of pass it to you and let you do the same thing. So with that being said, main event, Pantoja, Steve Erceg, good fight. I personally thought Steve Erceg probably had already won 2, 3, 4. So going into the 5th, I personally thought, I'm like, damn, Steve Erceg probably locked this up. But after the 5th round, when he kept shooting, I was like, man, if he wins this fight, I'm going to be kind of upset because I think Pantoja should deserve to win. Because I don't know, he just kind of did more at the end, kind of showed his, champion heart, if you will. But super close fight, back and forth. Truly could have gone either way. The 4-1 card, I think, was kind of baloney. Like, it is what it is. But Pantoja and still the champion. Who's going to beat that guy? Who's going to beat fucking Alexandre Pantoja, dude? It's like, dude, he's already beat everyone. It's kind of tough. Co-main event, Jose Aldo, Jonathan Martinez. Yeah, pretty much after after I did change to cheddar Friday, I was like, all right, I need to stop betting Jonathan Martinez. Jose Aldo is probably going to end up winning this fight via decision. So I did have a few bets with Jose Aldo via decision, and that ended up happening. Needless to say, I didn't win anything, but I'll get into that. But officially, I did pick Jonathan Martinez in one of our different picks. So I got that one incorrect. Our next one, dude, Anthony Lionheart-Smith versus Vitor Petrino, dude. Feel free to answer me. Like when I ask you this, did we not talk about this on the podcast last week? I was like, dude, Anthony Smith is going to be that guy that busts everybody's parlay, and yet we still bet him.
Yeah, well, even on well, really, it was change to cheddar because I had said last week that I wasn't even as confident in Petrino, but I was just less confident in Anthony Smith just because where he's kind of been his last few. But of course, should have went with my gut instinct initially, and like you said too, but we see what happened.
Absolutely nuts, dude. Michel Pereira does Michel Pereira things, as you saw on the thumbnail of the show at the bottom right there, just doing Michel Pereira things, dude. Yeah, ends up getting the guillotine win, dude. Absolutely nuts. And dude, they got to match Michel up against someone good at 185 now, dude. You're just giving them to like the unranked like 185ers. You got to match him up against someone decent, dude. He's just crushing these dudes.
It's gotta be Marvin Vettori, dude. It's gotta be Marvin Vettori. I want to see if he is finally the guy to finish Marvin Vettori. I think Vettori's the guy. He's supposed to go. He's supposed to go against Brendan Allen. Man, screw that fight. Marvin Vettori versus Michel Pereira. Make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely nuts, dude. Caio Bahio knocks out Paul Craig second round, pretty much the way I expected it to go for the most part. That one didn't go too much out of the way. Joe Anderson Brito stops Jack Shore with leg kicks, but because his shin was split open, dude, the doctors are really getting their fingers in there, dude. I was like, oh, like, why are you doing that? I mean, they were in Brazil, and then they called it. And then after the fight, Jack Shore's dad came out and was like, there was no fracture, no break anywhere. So they just called the fight off, dude. But it was in Brazil. Who knows, dude? One of the ones I was pretty high on, Yasmin Lucindo to finish Karolina Kowalkiewicz, and I feel like she could have, dude. I feel like she could have in the first round. It's like, come on, you could have done it. I almost feel like she's just liking to get those rounds in there. Mick the Big Orabai versus Elvis Brenner. Dude, in this fight, Mick the Big had Elvis like, I swear he knocked Elvis out like 3 times in the first round, dude. I was like, dude, he is there. In second round, Elvis Brenner is just absolutely gassed, got nothing left. And somehow every Elvis Brenner fight, that third round, he gets like this second win and starts to come back. So that was a pretty decent fight. But Mick the Big Orabai does get the decision win. Drakkar Klose gets the decision win over Joaquim Silva. Me and you both thought that was going to happen. Mauricio Hufi knocks out Jamie Malarkey in the first round. Kind of ruined a bunch of my parlays because I had him KO 2 or 3, and not too good for you because you picked him in the pick champ. One that I picked in the pick champ was Ernesto Carrasqueta, and I personally feel like that was a close fight, dude. If that fight wasn't in Brazil, I feel like she may have won that fight, dude. I don't know if you actually watched that one or not, but Diana Barboza does get the decision win. Ismail Bonfim does get the decision win over Vince Pichel. And once again, I feel like he probably could have got Vince out of there at some point. I don't know, dude. He was just trying to be too clean. And Alessandro Costa, Kevin Borjas. I was pretty high on Alessandro Costa via submission, and he ground and pounded him while on his back, like flattened out, dude. I was like, it's there. Go get it. So it is what it is, dude. But yeah, I sent you this one bet this past weekend, D Rose. It was $2.50 to win $3,000. The only leg on it that didn't hit, it was like a 7, 8, 9 leg, all exact method winner, like type, like round. It was $2.50 to win $3,000 on like a 7 leg. It was a crazy parlay. The only thing that didn't hit on that was Vitor Petrino to win via decision. So I wanted to cry this past weekend just a little bit, dude, because, when you get that close, what can you do? How did you do this past weekend, D-Rose?
Yeah, like I said, I did pretty solid. I ended up I took Pantoja and 4-5 decision. It was the only way that you could take Pantoja plus money, and I just knew that Steve Erceg was going to just ultimately be too tough. But I thought that ended up being a really good fight. I mean, criticize it for being the main event or whatever the case may be, but honestly, Steve Erceg really did prove that he is here to stay, just as far as him being a competitor at 125. And I just thought for Pantoja, I do think that people are not giving him enough credit just for being the blood and guts warrior that he is. Every single time, I know you were talking about Elvis Brenner getting that second win, dude. Every single fight, Pantoja in the middle of the second round looks like he is absolutely toast. Like, his cardio looks like he's done. His arms are tired, like flailing. And all of a sudden in the third round, he's just literally just sprinting forward, like as he's throwing combinations. Like, it just looks crazy to watch Pantoja, like, just get his second win and kind of put that pressure on dudes to get the wins that he does. And for Jose Aldo, man, how could you not feel good for Jose Aldo coming back? I know you had mentioned the thing about him working on his boxing, but dude, you see why he's working on his boxing, because his boxing is clean. Like,
real quick, in that fight, and I didn't say anything about it. Is it odd that fucking Jonathan Martinez threw no leg kicks in that fight? I was like, hey, what are you doing? I was banking on you throw the leg kicks, and it's midway through the third round. I've seen you throw 2 this whole fight. What the fuck? I was a little thrown off by that.
Well, I think so. In the beginning, he was throwing the leg kicks, but Aldo was coming through with some good counters and stuff, some good left kind of like left hooks and right hands that he was able to throw to kind of keep Martinez off balance. And Aldo was the one putting on the pressure, so it's kind of hard for Martinez to throw those leg kicks, working off his back foot all the time. So I thought Aldo was going to do exactly what he did, was walking down with the boxing and the pressure and get the win in that fight. And it felt really good to see Aldo coming out with the crown and stuff like that too. So that was pretty dope. Anthony Smith, man, that was just of course, like I said, as soon as the Return of the Mac came out, I was going to hit the whoa, like, just hitting that note, man. You can't help but get hyped whenever he walks out. But yeah, excited to see him get the win against Vitor Petrino, even though it did bust a bet of mine. I definitely, again, we were talking about it. I had a gut instinct that I shouldn't have went with Petrino, but I was like, you know what? He's going to be in Brazil. Probably get a little bit of favoritism from the judging or whatnot. But yeah, he just leaves his head just locked in there just to go ahead and get taken off. So, yeah, not cool there. Michelle Pereira, as you said, got to give him, and I already made my opinion known, but got to give him Marvin Vettori at this point, man. You've got to see if, that speed, the power that he's got, dude. I know he can finish Marvin Vettori. He would be the first guy to do it if he can get his hands on him, man. I know Marvin Vettori's got a granite chin, but dude, I'm telling you, if there's one dude who could do it, it's freaking Michelle Pereira. But yeah, I think I need to see that fight next. Kyle Bahayo, man, I thought that was awesome for him to get the finish the way he did, because I know you said you were kind of expecting it. I wasn't expecting him to really kind of work on the pressure the way he did against Paul Craig. And honestly, there at the end, he just kind of like disrespected him, just walking forward, just throwing just big punches, just not even caring about Paul Craig striking whatsoever, and just absolutely slumped him on the cage. So yeah, that was a beautiful kind of flurry that he was able to get off before he landed the big blow. And man, I thought overall the card was good. I was kind of like, because I told you I was driving because we went out for dinner like for the early prelims, so I was kind of like on my way back. So like the earlier prelims, I did miss most of them, but I did catch like the whole main card from beginning to end. But even going back and watching some of the prelims as well, I thought the whole card did deliver. I thought the Joaquin Silva and Drakkar Klose fight was pretty good. Drakkar Klose was on skates there in the third round. I had Drakkar Klose by decision, and when he's kind of sitting there stumbling and Joaquin Silva kind of gets top position, I'm like, Drakkar Klose, really, dude? Like, you cannot blow this. Like, yes, I was very pissed that he almost ended up blowing that, but was able to get the win. And then I thought, like, probably on the prelims, besides the Drakkar Klose fight, was probably the Ismail Bonfim fight. I know you said he looked a little bit patient, but or was trying to like, I guess, show a little bit too much technique. But I thought that was a good sign of him, because I thought a big thing in the BSD fight that hurt him was all that pressure that BSD put on him. He just ended up getting absolutely gassed. So, there was multiple times where Bonfim, had Vince Pichel hurt. And, he kind of went for the finish. But once he realized that, Vince from hell Pichel, I mean, the dude's just, he's made of, his chin's made of absolute granite, dude. It's really hard to knock him out. I think he's only been knocked out once in his career and his losses. So, yeah, I thought it was good for him to kind of stay reserved and not go in there, blow his wad, and end up kind of, blowing a big lead, especially at home in Brazil. So, but I thought overall, man, I thought it was a pretty damn good card from beginning to end. So, especially I think with our expectations being kind of low coming in, kind of set a low bar to hurdle. But as far as the finishes on the main card, I mean, yeah, it was, dude. I mean, the main card is over by 12:30, 12:45. I mean, I think that's the earliest the main card, or a whole pay-per-view has ever ended. I mean, I couldn't have been happier.
Yeah, dude, I agree. So, D-Rose, let's catch up on the chat real quick, and then let's get into some beating. I don't know if we got this one earlier, but it says Nelly from Chavs. I appreciate you. One of my costumes today. We got Hey Riley. Okay, they're just talking back and forth. Riley and his personal comments. I don't know if you want me to put that one up, Riley. I'll just leave it down there. Let's see. I couldn't believe they stopped the leg. The leg cut. Yeah, that was kind of weird. And then watch UFC give Pereira Brundage next, dude.
Will he be the first one to actually take Pereira past the second round? Maybe. Who knows?
Damn, D-Rose, that voice. Kissed by what does this say? Kissed by a rose on the grave? What does that mean?
That is a great question. Hopefully he can. Hopefully he can explain himself for this.
I don't know what that means. So, with that being said, D-Rose, it is time for the bean eating. So, this past weekend, our different fights were actually, we had 6 different ones. We try to have 5 different ones on the pay-per-views because, fights fall out and things like that. And it's pay-per-view. Let's bump up the odds a little bit higher. So you have to win 3 of the 5. But we picked on 6, but one of the fights fell out, being Gene Silva versus William Gomi, where I went Gene Silva and you went William Gomi. Dude, William Gomi weighed in under the weight and looked terrible, dude. He was like almost dying on the scale. Like, what happened? He had to have been sick, or some Brazilian shenanigans going on or something, man.
Yeah, I'd read some stuff, like it was like in some Facebook groups and stuff that I had seen, but I'd seen a bunch of people had basically, not verified. A bunch of people had the same story, that like he had gotten sick the night before or something like that, and he was throwing up a lot, and he was actually throwing up the same day of the weigh-in. That's why he ended up coming in so light, because he basically threw up, I guess, basically nonstop leading up to the weigh-in.
Crazy, dude. Crazy. Yeah. So the 5 different fights that we did have were Alessandro Costa versus Kevin Borjas, where I went Alessandro Costa. D-Rose went Kevin Borjas. Our second different fight was Diani Barboza versus Ernesta Carrasqueta, when I went Ernesta Carrasqueta. D-Rose went Diani Barboza. Our third different fight was Mauricio Hufi versus Jamie Malarkey. I went Mauricio Hufi, and D-Rose went Jamie Malarkey for some reason. I have no idea why there, dude. Our fourth different fight was Joe Anderson Brito versus Jack Tank Shore, where I went Joe Anderson Brito and you went Jack Tank Shore. That one technically sealed it for me, but our last one was Jonathan Martinez versus Jose Aldo, where I went Jonathan Martinez and you went Jose Aldo. So the 2 that you got correct were Diani Barboza versus Carrasqueta and Martinez versus Aldo. Everything else, that was all me, D-Rose. So that means you get the beans this week, my guy. So let's see if you get some nasty beans. What has D-Rose got in store for us? Let's check them out.
Can't believe this. man. Hold on. Oh, man. I think somebody's been messing with these. Hold on. Haha. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's a green one. Oh, gosh. Is it going to be
Is it gonna
Juicy
be the
Pear?
booger or the booger?
Yeah, Juicy Pear.
Let
or
it be
Booger.
the booger. 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 Booger.
What's it gonna be?
Booger. 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 It's in his mouth. Yes, 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 yes. Street sweeper, baby, cock ready to let it go. Shimmy, shimmy, kick a what? Oh, yes.
That's not dirty. Oh my gosh. It's not quite dirty dishwater. Like if I had this, oh gosh, like an expired cucumber. Like that's what it tastes like. Like not pickled cucumber, so not a pickle.
Bugger.
This one has the possibility of being, oh gosh, either, which one is this? Birthday cake? Is that birthday cake? Honestly, I can't tell. Or I can't tell if it's birthday cake or Tutti Frutti. You know, I really hope it's Tutti Frutti because I do not want it to be dirty dishwater. I cannot have that followed up by dirty dishwater. I cannot. Cannot. Oh gosh.
Dirty dishwater. Dirty dishwater. I feel like it's in his mouth too long for it to be bad. I'm laughing. Look, D-Rose, whether I lose or if I win, I still got to wipe the tears out of my eyes from either laughing at you for having to eat the bad one or I'm crying because I'm gagging of having to eat the bad one, dude. It doesn't matter.
All
dude.
right.
I'm going to wipe my Band-Aid away.
It gets stuck in your teeth, though.
Hey, you decided on this. I was down to do alcohol shots, but you decided that was too good. So we decided on Bean Boozled.
No, because it's supposed to be a torture. It's not supposed to be it's not supposed to be a reward. Or congratulations, you lost. Take a shot.
D-Rose the booger eater.
Like I still taste the booger is the worst part. Like even after eating the others. Yeah, that's the worst part, dude.
Well, it could have been anything. Could have been anything
right here. I'm getting this shit out, dude.
Well, it gives you like a little motivation to get the pick champ back on your side this week and not have me eat some bad jelly beans, D-Rose. I suggested liquid ass spray. I don't want anything to do with that lunch.
Nah,
that's terrible. All right. So, with that being said, the bean eating is out of the way. Let's get into our UFC news and fight announcements segment of the day. So, over the past week, this is what has happened since our last show, D-Rose. This is our first fight announcement that I have. This is going to be July 27th, UFC 304 in Manchester. You get on that, my guy.
That's a pretty good fight. Is that no? Oh, okay. It's It's 3 or 4, so it's not a main event. So yeah, 3
No,
rounds.
sir.
Yeah, I mean that's a good fight. Both good strikers. I mean Arnold Allen's got pretty good takedowns. He doesn't use them a whole bunch, but yeah, if it stays on the feet, that should be a hell of a fight.
Indeed, indeed. What's happening? There we go. I was like, why can't I go back? I was on the wrong screen. All right. So up next, we do have Rodolfo Bellato is out. Umar C will now face Antonio Trocali. What do I feel like I've heard of that guy? Do you know who that is, the Rose? Antonio Trocali?
Yeah, I cannot recall. No.
It sounds familiar. Probably because I'm thinking about Anton Turkali, but anyway,
Bro, I still taste the damn boogers, dude. Like I'm sitting and I still taste that shit. Like I just burped and I just tasted it, dude. Like that shit. Oh my gosh.
Deep down, D-Rose loves it. He's gonna go search for the bean box for all the booger flavored jelly beans later. So Alessandro Costa win. Ismail Bonfim won. Deani Barbosa won. Mauricio Hufi absolutely snoozed Jamie Malarkey in the first round. D-Rose. I don't know if you went back to watch that one or not. And Mick Tabika Orbai adds another win, dude. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, that happened. I feel like she could have finished Carolina, but what can you do? That one, dude. Look at that. Look at that. What are we doing here?
Yeah, he's literally digging his thumb in there.
I bet it does.
It's a fracture. It's a fracture. Look at this. You can't tell it's a fractured leg. Like, what are we doing?
This guy is snoozing Paul Craig. Michelle dancing after the win, opposed to no dances before the win. This one that ruined everyone's parlays. And then, dude, after this happened, he walked over to like the booth and said, maybe I'm not so far from a title shot yet, huh? Like after all week saying that he was done with the title shot talks, and then he wins one fight, and now he's like, yeah, time to go back for a championship again. It's like, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, Anthony Smith. Come on, Lionheart. We love you as a fighter, but that ain't happening, man. Could you imagine fucking Yuri Prochazka versus Anthony Smith? What that would look like, man?
Well, especially Anthony Smith at this point, not Anthony Smith, 4 or 5 years ago when he kind of first entered the light heavyweight division.
Yeah. I gotcha. Jose Aldo getting his decision win, and Pantoja getting his win. And then we have this, dude. Corey Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov is going to be headlining UFC Abu Dhabi on August 3rd. This was what I was originally trying to go to in Nashville this past year, and now they moved it to Abu Dhabi. So I will not be attending this one. Shocker. What's your thoughts on this, D-Rose?
No, I'm not. I am shocked that you're not attending this one. I figured you'd go ahead and saddle up the money and go ahead and go see this thing. But no, I think good fight. Kind of sucks that Sandhagen ended up losing the fight, kind of giving Umar a chance in the first place, and now kind of not taking it in Umar's backyard per se, but we know that in over in Abu Dhabi, it's going to be mostly a heavy Muslim crowd, so it's going to be all in favor of Umar. So kind of sucks for Corey, but I think that's overall still a badass fight though.
Indeed. I agree, D-Rose. So we'll move along to our next one. We don't have a lot today, D-Rose. We've got Peyton Talbot versus who? Who? I don't know who this is, dude. Peyton Talbot minus 2,000, dude. Like, what are we doing here? We're like International Fight Week, dude. You know what UFC's doing here. This is a squash match.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, just trying to get Peyton Talbot some
fucking this guy's face looks like Cody Brundage. I don't know why. It looks like he's fighting Cody Brundage.
Well, then you might want to be careful about betting it. If it's like if they end up pulling this guy's mask off and it's like, oh man, the meddling kids got me again. Fuck around and be Cody Brundage, but yeah, like you said, squash match, 100%.
Mm-hmm. All right, and our last one, dude, we have Muhammad Makayev versus Manal Cap added to UFC 304 in England, dude. That's going to be headlined by Tom Aspinall. But who's Tom Aspinall going to fight, D-Rose? Give me your thoughts on this fight and who you think Tom Aspinall is going to be fighting for UFC 304.
This fight ain't happening. Not a chance. I mean, you really think that Manel Kape's going to end up making weight and or his opponent end up making weight? Not even Muhammad Mokaev, but it seems like he always ends up having some sort of issues going into his fights as far as actually making it to the fight, whether it be him or his opponent. So yeah, this fight, there you go. Yeah, this fight is 1000% not happening. And like Dave said, it ain't even worth betting those odds because we already know that fight's not happening. But I do think for the Tom Aspinall, man, I've seen on like internet people just talking shit, but maybe Cyril Gane, which I think is just so dumb to think that John Jones is a champ, Tom Aspinall is the interim champ, and Tom Aspinall is defending the interim title. Like, what are we? I don't understand what it is at this point. If John wants to fight Stipe, then I say if Tom Aspinall is going to defend the title, then just have Tom Aspinall after that fight become the undisputed champ. John gets stripped, and they just do a legacy fight with him versus Stipe at heavyweight with no title attached to it because you really don't need it. Because I would say it's very likely that both of them are going to retire after the fight anyway. So why even leave it up for chance when you could just make Tom Aspinall's next fight that he's going to defend the interim title for the full-on title. So I mean, I would say maybe Cyril Gane, but yeah, it's got to be for the undisputed title at this point.
Fair enough. We got Diggity Dank saying in Manel's head he's the toughest street fighter on the planet. I actually sent you that one thing of him saying that he would beat Izzy in a street fight, dude.
He'll get fucking like pile drive like he's like he's Mankind going against Undertaker. Like, what are you talking about?
Jones might fight Peloton before Aspinall. Yeah, dude. Jones has been asking people who they want him to fight, Tom Aspinall or Alex Pereira, dude.
That's so annoying.
Dude, I could see Alex Pereira getting a shot at the heavyweight title fighting John Jones before I would see John Jones fight Tom Aspinall.
Yeah, I can say that, and I'm with you. I don't think John has any aspirations on fighting Tom Aspinall. I don't think that fight's going to happen at all. But I am with you with I do think Alex Pereira, if somehow the UFC was like, you know what, fuck it, we'll give Alex Pereira a chance, he'll 100% take that fight because, hey, Alex Pereira likely doesn't have great takedown defense against someone like John Jones. So, much easier matchup there than Tom Aspinall would be.
Indeed. So, up next, the last portion of the show, we've got our UFC Fight Night, Derek Lewis versus Rodrigo Nascimento. We'll give you our preview and our picks, and I'll let you know what bets I have made already on this card. And I don't like that I've already bet so much, but hey, what can you do? So D-Rose, let's get into it. Well, we've got look at that, a StreamYard. Dude, I'm using StreamYard, man. Is that enough? Apparently not. Anyway.
No, it's so good. You need another account. It's so
right,
good.
Dude. John doesn't want Aspinall fight. John doesn't want Aspinall fight before. For sure. He's not fighting Tom Aspinall. No chance. Tom Aspinall's way too good. Anyway, so we'll move on to this, D-Rose. We've got UFC Fight Night, Lewis versus Nascimento, taking place this Saturday, May 11th at 4 p.m. East Coast time at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri. Shout out, home of Nelly, I believe. We've got 13 fights to go over, D-Rose. Headlined by the Black Beast, Derek Lewis, taking on Rodrigo Nascimento. Co-main event is Joaquim Numansa Buckley taking on Nursultan Rizaboev at 170 pounds. That's an interesting fight. We've got Atomic Alonzo Minifield taking on the Black Jag, Carlos Ulberg. We've got Carlos Diego Ferreira, D-Rose. He's going to be fighting Matus Raumbetsky this weekend, and that's an absolute squash match, but we'll get into it. We've got Bruce Leroy, Alex Carrera taking on Born Ready, the sniper, Sean Woodson. We've got Waldo Cortez, the Salsa Boy Acosta, taking on Robelis de Spain. That's going to be a fun one. We've got Chase, the Dream Hooper, taking on Vyacheslav Slavaclaus Borshov. We've got T-Rex Terrence McKinney taking on Esteban Ribovics. And we've got Tabitha Ricci taking on the Tiny Tornado. The Baby Shark Tabitha Ricci taking on the Tiny Tornado, Tisha Torres. We've got Trey Waters taking on Billy Goff. We've got a very good fight here in Jake Hadley taking on Charles Energy Johnson. White Kong Jake Hadley taking on Charles Energy Johnson. We've got the Night Train, Choo Choo, Jared Gooden taking on Kevin Jousset. And the first fight of the card, D-Rose, is JJ Aldrich taking on Veronica Hardy. This is a pretty decent fight card. I'm not going to lie. What are your thoughts on the fight card as a whole, my guy?
Crazy thing is, I'd say it's actually comparable to what the pay-per-view was last week. I mean, honestly, if you're looking up and down as far as name and matchup wise, and I would say on this card, you're looking at, much more competitive matchups than we did on last week too. You don't see nearly the minus 500s, minus 600s, as we were kind of talking about in private messaging. There's some very good value here in some of these bets that you can make. So yeah, I mean, you got some pretty good lines this week going in. So there's some opportunity to make some money this week.
Indeed. We got Lush, got the notebook ready to go. I appreciate you, Lush. You are that guy. We got Mac the Ripper saying, gang. Hope everyone is doing good. I appreciate you, Mac. Thank you for stopping by tonight, brother. And we got Baby Shark versus Tiny Tornado is an OnlyFans. I would pay many dollars for. All right. Diggity Dang saying, yeah, my opinion is better than 301. All right, D-Rose. So let's get into it. First fight of the night, we've got none other than JJ Aldrich taking on Veronica Hardy. Let me get my odds pulled up. JJ Aldrich, in her last 5 fights, she is 3-2, but overall she is 13-6. Veronica Hardy, on the other hand, out of her last 5 fights, she is also 3-2. Overall, she is 8-4-1. But in her last 2 fights, she's been the dog, D-Rose, and I believe I have cashed both times as her as the dog. If not, I know I cashed for her against Juliana Miller, and that was one of my favorite ones. And I will never let you live that one down. And currently odds for this fight are plus 114 JJ Aldrich and minus 146 for Veronica Hardy. JJ Aldrich, 31 years old, 5'5", and a 67-inch reach, while Veronica Hardy is 28 years old, 5'4", and a 64-inch reach. D-Rose, my personal thoughts on this fight is JJ Aldrich is a good fighter, but she doesn't stand out anywhere. She's solid everywhere. She's not bad anywhere, but she's not going to wow you anywhere either. On the other hand, Veronica Hardy has looked so good on the feet, her striking and her footwork in her past 2 fights, dude. You can see the Dan Hardy influence without a doubt. So my personal thoughts on this fight is Veronica Hardy probably going to win this fight via decision. I'm not going to really talk about it too much because I believe we saw the same fight in Veronica Hardy's last fight. She fought Jamie Lynn Horth, which is basically a younger, bigger version of JJ Aldrich, man. And Veronica Hardy still won. So, yeah, give me Veronica Hardy via decision here. Which way you going, man?
Yeah, you pretty much broke it down in the same way I basically kind of see it as well. Veronica Hardy, as you said, good footwork, good striking. And she's proven so far, pretty good takedown defense, as far as, she's not up in the top 15, per se just yet, but She's working towards that, and so far, she hasn't really been able to, get taken down on the ground, and kind of, maybe show what people might see as some weaknesses, because we already know how good her striking is coming in, and I think JJ Aldrich, although she can get it to the ground at certain points, I do think that instead of maybe cutting off the cage, she can get to chasing a little bit, and I think that can set up for Veronica Hardy, kind of using her footwork, bounce on the outside. I think it'll be a little bit of a slower pace fight. Might see a lot of clinch exchanges on the fence and stuff like that. But I do think that Veronica Hardy is probably going to land the most and the more impactful shots, and I think she wins a decision.
Fair enough. So it looks like me and you are both on the Veronica Hardy side to win this fight via decision. So no difference there between me and D Rose. So we'll move on to the next fight. That is Jared the Night Train Gooden taking on Kevin Ayer Juice. Choo D Rose. The Night Train, Jared Gooden, is 23-9-0 out of his last 5 fights. He has won 3 and lost 2. And this one right here, D Rose, did I call this one or not, man? I was like, dude, if Wellington Tournament's going to bang it out on the feet with Night Train Jared Gooden, he's getting finished. And sure enough, dude, that's what he tried to do. And training with Alex Pereira gave him too much confidence in that fight. But yeah, got a little bit different fight this time, as he's going to be taking on Kevin Juice, who is 10-2 overall, and out of his last 5 fights, he has won all 5 of them. Currently, odds for this fight plus 180 for Jared Night Train Gooden, and minus 235 for Kevin Ayer Juice. Night Train Jared Gooden, 30 years old, 6 foot, and a 77-inch reach, while Kevin Ayer Juice, 31 years old, 6'2", and a 75-inch reach. I don't want to say Kevin Juice fights like Izzy, dude, but kind of fights like Izzy, man. And it's like, if this is on the feet for 3 rounds, how can I not pick Kevin Juice via decision? I feel like he's got excellent leg kicks, body kicks, and he throws them with heat, dude. Who throws bullshit leg kicks from time to time and just kind of tosses them out there?
As far as like maybe like a lazy leg kicker or something like that.
Yeah, he is not.
Maybe like a Colby Covington or something like that.
Right,
someone who doesn't really have too much striking.
Although it doesn't look as round. Okay, dude, Paul Craig threw no punches. He just got knocked out while throwing no punches too. I also meant to mention that, dude. I was like, his hands are up, but he's just throwing kicks. But anyway, Kevin Ayer Juice, he doesn't really wind up like Trevor Peak, but that's the intensity that he's throwing his kicks with. Like, Kevin Juice has powerful kicks, and I believe that is going to be the deciding factor in the fight this weekend. Riley saying, "I heard you. I appreciate you, Riley. Thank you, brother." We got the night train. Choo choo, Jared Gooden. D Rose, I'm a Night Train Jared Gooden fan. I just feel like this is a bad matchup for him. I just feel like he's going to end up getting picked apart at distance. And if he don't get knocked out, I feel like he's just going to lose this fight via decision. So give me the favorite in Kevin Juice to win this fight via decision. 3 or decision is what I like, just in case it's a later knockout. But, dude, you never really know, man, because I've seen Jared Gooden get cracked just a few times. And, wouldn't surprise me if he got knocked out too. So, yeah, give me Kevin Juice to win this fight. 3 or decision is what I personally like. How about you, man?
Yeah, well, and the crazy part about Kevin Juice is that he has a judo background. That was kind of like his first base in martial arts, and then he's been getting the choo choo, hell yeah, choo choo. But he started training at CKB, and that's where he really started, developing the striking. So that's where, you see the powerful kicks and stuff come in at. So his hands still aren't quite where you'd like to see him, kind of being at this level, but also he is kind of, just getting in, kind of like an entry UFC level, Jared Gooden and Song Kanan and guys like that. So I think it's a kind of slow, gradual build that he needs. And Jared Gooden is a good matchup as well. Dude's super tough. He's hard to finish. He can maybe get submitted from time to time, but other than that, as far as he's not going to have any quit on himself. So I think he's going to be there to give Kevin Jussier a challenge. But I do think that Kevin Jussier just has just a little bit more, I guess, as far as the a well-rounded game. Yeah, like you said, good strikes, good submission game, good takedowns. He's got a little bit of it all, and I think he doesn't. His big thing, unlike Wellington's Herman, I don't think Jussier is going to go in there and make a lot of mistakes. So I am with you as far as that Kevin Jussier round 3 or decision as well. But yeah, we'll go with Kevin Jussier. I think if he does get the finish, I think maybe a sub. I think he might get a submission, but if not, it'll probably be a decision.
Just a quick little stat, D-Rose. I don't think that Jared Gooden has ever been submitted. I think he's 9-0 to the submission, believe it or not. So he submits fools and don't get submitted himself. But there's 2 people that I get confused a lot, and that's Jeremiah Wells and Jared Gooden. I do get those confused, and they fight the same people a lot. And I believe back-to-back fights, it was Carlston Harris fought Jared Gooden and then Jeremiah Wells, and then choked out like fucking Jeremiah Wells. So that might be who you're kind of getting them confused with. But yeah, Jared Gooden never been choked out, believe it or not.
You know who I'm thinking about? I think I always mix him up with Malcolm Gordon. That's who I always end up mixing.
I mean that's a big difference. That's a huge difference.
Yeah, that might be who I'm actually mixing him up with as far as getting submitted wise.
All right. So we are going Kevin Jussier to win this fight, man.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, I'll break down the next one, and I am out of soda, so I'm going to go grab another one. I'll do the stats, and I'll let you break it down for us, D-Rose, while I go, and I'll be right back. So let's get this ad out of the way. Come on, you got it. There we go. Am I sharing the screen? I am not. So let's get into it. Our third fight of the night, I believe, is We've got Jake White Kong Hadley taking on Charles Energy Johnson. Jake Hadley is 10-2 overall, and out of his last 5 fights, he is 3-2 with the last loss to Cody Durden 8 months ago, dude. And I don't know how he didn't break Cody Durden's arm in Nashville, dude. I was there live, and dude, I was waiting to hear a baseball bat type snap, dude. As crazy as it sounds. On the other hand, Charles Energy Johnson, 14-6 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he is 1-2 and lost 3. And this Azat Maxim decision win was really surprising, dude, because dude was undefeated, and he ended up, shutting down the new undefeated up-and-comer from, I believe, Kazakhstan, dude. So currently odds for this fight are Charles Johnson plus 136, the dog, and Jake Hadley minus 174, the favorite. Jake Hadley, 27 years old, 5'7", and a 70-inch reach, while Charles Energy Johnson is from St. Louis, so will be fighting in his hometown. He is 33 years old, 5'9", and a 70-inch reach. So Charles Johnson will be 2 inches taller. We'll have the same reach, though. D-Rose, feel free to break it down, my guy.
Yeah, I think this is as my camera just absolutely decides to absolutely shit the bed right now. I don't even know what just I don't know what's happening. Good toss, man. So here we go. Yeah, no, I actually think this is actually a pretty good fight. And Jake Hadley, dude's got super clean boxing. As my screen just decides to go full ape shit. Jake Hadley's got super clean boxing. And, good striker, good footwork. Charles Johnson, we know the type of fight that he likes to bring. He's kind of got like that awkward, unorthodox style, kind of good kicks. able to kind of get the fight in clinch positions, good with elbows in the clinch, good with takedowns. Submission attempts, he doesn't get as many submissions, but hey, he definitely does go for it when he gets the opportunity. And a lot of times he just goes out there and just puts a lot of pressure on guys as well and just makes the fight dirty. So, and Jake Hadley, he's one that typically, he fights his best when the fight's a little bit cleaner, when he's kind of able to kind of stay at his range and kind of fight at his boxing range. And Cody Durden kind of showed in his fight that with Jake Hadley that if you're able to kind of put a little bit of pressure on Jake Hadley, kind of smother those punches a little bit, you can really kind of nullify his best weapon and get a win. And I think that Charles Johnson, it just really depends on what Charles Johnson decides to show up. He kind of puts me in the mind of Khalil Roundtree to a certain extent, because there's times where Charles Johnson can show up and, man, he looks like one of the best flyweights in the world. And there's times where he just looks like he is just there just to collect a paycheck. So sometimes you just don't know which version of Charles Johnson that you're going to get. So as far as betting wise, I'm not going to be too heavy onto this fight, but I do think that Charles Johnson, as far as his level of competition, I think he's fought the tougher competition so far. And I think that he just got that kind of style to really get up in Jake Hadley's face. Charles Johnson's hard to hurt as well. So I think Charles Johnson can get the win here, and I do think he does. So I think Charles Johnson by decision is the way to go.
I didn't see it coming, D-Rose. I didn't think it was going to happen, but it is Charles Energy Johnson Fight Week. Check it out, D-Rose. me and Charles Energy Johnson got the same haircut this week.
Oh,
support,
shit.
Baby Charles. Let's go. I like Charles Energy Johnson as the dog personally. I think he is one to put pace and pressure on fighters. And if Jake Hadley has a tough weight cut, which he usually does, man, Jake Hadley usually has a terrible weight cut. Dude, that's not gonna be good for Jake Hadley this weekend. So got my very own skullet. Ordered this bald cap from Amazon, and it just happens to be short enough in the back to show off the back of my hair. So perfect. So yeah, Charles Energy Johnson via decision is I believe the way that me and you both are going this week. Correct, D-Rose?
Yep.
All right. So this will come off until next Charles Energy Johnson fight week, dude, because that thing
you gotta
is slippery and slimy.
You gotta stream yourself watching a Charles Johnson fight with that thing on. Like, let's go, Energy, let's go.
Energy Johnson, let's go, baby. Yeah, I should. Anyway, so the next fight we have, here, I should come to the chat, see if the chat said anything about this one. We've got, this will be a good fight. Johnson's a live dog. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling as well. Really saying, what the fuck? We've got, okay, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. I thought it was a good prop, at least 2 props on one show. You guys, yeah, if I can do something to entertain you guys more than we already do, I will try my hardest. Yeah, so me and D-Rose both on the dog of Charles Energy Johnson there. So we'll move on to the next fight. That is Trey Waters taking on Billy Goff, dude. Do you remember Billy Goff's last fight, D-Rose?
That's what I was trying to. I saw
it was against Kinoshita,
the
Japanese dude, where he just walked them down and just made them fold, dude. We're all like, what the hell?
Yeah, I believe once I see the highlight, I'll remember it.
All right. Yeah, it was the blonde Japanese dude. Pretty big Japanese dude, too. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, this fight, Trey, the Truth Waters, is going to be taking on Billy Goff. Trey Waters, 8-1 overall. His only loss is to Gabriel Bonfim via Von Flue choke on the Contender Series. As for Billy Goff, 9-2 overall. Won all 5 of his last 5 fights. Only had a fight in the Contender Series where he was expected to lose that fight. He was a dog and then came in and was a huge dog against Yakusu Kinoshita in his last fight and ended up dogging him out too, dude. So just been a dog 2 times and, just showed that, he ain't going away easy, man. Currently odds for this fight, plus 132 Billy Goff, minus 170 for Trey Waters. Trey Waters, 29 years old, 6'5" and a 77-inch reach. This is this fight
welterweight.
is at welterweight. Yeah, 6'5" at welterweight. Should put that out there. Not the only one we'll see that big tonight either, as crazy as it sounds. So Billy Goff, 25 years old, 5'10" and a 72.5-inch reach. D Rose, just by off the fucking measurables, I have to go Trey Waters to win this via decision. But I will say this right now. Do not parlay Trey Waters because if you do, there's a chance Billy Goff walks forward, those first 2 rounds, eats those jabs, and then Trey Waters gets tired of jabbing them. And then Billy Goff just does Billy Goff things and dogs Trey Waters out and ends up finishing him in the late 2nd, 3rd round. But give me Trey Waters to win this fight via decision. And hopefully that's the way it goes. Yeah. Which way are you going here, D-Rose?
Yeah, I think as you said, just basing off of the measurables alone. I mean, I do think that that Billy Goff fight it does ring a bell. I do remember him walking forward, just swinging mad punches and stuff like that, and dude does carry good power. But gosh, I mean, it just almost looks like Trey Waters is like coming from like light heavyweight to come down to fight at 170. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. They're doing like a reverse Rumble Johnson here. Dude, 6'5", 77-inch reach. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, I think that alone.
That's literally like a fucking guard in the NBA.
Yeah, like it's absolutely ridiculous, man. But yeah, I'm gonna go Trey Waters here as well.
Are you going to be a decision, or do you think he finishes him?
Yeah. I'll say by decision.
All right. So up next, we do have. If there is a female fight to watch, this one is one to watch. I do enjoy some Tabitha Hichi fights, as Hanato Moicano calls her. Dude, Baby Sharks are really good, man. I don't know if I enjoy watching Baby Shark fights as much as I enjoy watching Lupe Godinez, but I do enjoy watching Baby Shark fight, dude. She's really good overall, man. She's smart. She's got a very high fight IQ. Her striking isn't the best, but it's effective, if that makes sense. It might not look great, but she's at least throwing it out there and into doing what she needs to do to, win the fight. Am I sharing the screen? I am. So we will get into the fight now. The Baby Shark, Tabitha Ricci, 9-2 overall. Only lost 2 fights to Manon Fuhr, and her last fight via split decision 5 months ago against my girl, Lupita Godinez. Let's go, Lupi. On the other hand, the Tiny Tornado, Tisha Torres, 13-6 overall. Won 3 of her last 5, but her last fight was a split decision loss 2 years ago to Mackenzie Dern. And in the meantime, D-Rose, she's had a baby, and she's also 35 years old now. Took off 2 years, had a baby, and also 35 years old at 115 pounds. Yeah, a lot going on here, D-Rose. Currently odds for this fight, minus 146, Tabitha Ricci, the Baby Shark, and Tisha, the Tiny Tornado Pennington, is plus 114, your current odds. Tabitha Ricci, 29 years old, 5'1" and a 61-inch reach, while Tisha Torres, or Tisha Pennington, is 34 years old, 5'1", and also a 61-inch reach. So we are going to have a same size here, but I think Tabitha Ricci might be a little bit more muscular and a little bit more athletic, D-Rose. It's almost like Tisha Torres is muscular and stiff, as where Tabitha Ricci is very athletic still. So give me Tabitha Ricci to win this fight via decision. Which way are you going here?
This one is actually one I've been kind of going back and forth with. As you said, very similar in stature. It's very rare that Tisha Pennington actually ends up fighting someone her size. She's normally fighting someone, looks like they're about 3 or 4 inches taller at least. So at least she's, going to be able to see somebody eye to eye this time. But you're right. I do think Tabitha Ricci, she's got good cardio. She's got good, kind of good wrestling. Potential to set up her submissions as well. Her striking's coming along. It's not the best, but But I do think it's came along as she's been riding along, and J Doba. But no, yeah, I think for Tabitha Ricci, she is a younger fighter. But I do think that looking back at that Loopy loss, I think Loopy, although Loopy is a little bit bigger, she was able to kind of really put that pressure on Tabitha Ricci there. I know it ended up coming into a split decision, but I do think that maybe Tisha Pennington, training with the champ, getting some rounds in, getting a little bit inspired to come back and kind of show that she's still got some good chops. She's still got good boxing, good takedown defense. As you said, she can be a little bit stiff, but man, she's still solid overall though. And got wins over like Angela Hill and Sam Hughes and those over her last few. So I think Tabitha Ricci, I think similar stature, but I think the better striker. Give me I'll take the underdog of Tisha Torres or Tisha Pennington here. Let's go by decision.
All right, that's surprising, D-Rose. I don't think there's a shot Tisha wins this fight, but hey, if you're confident in it, I will gladly take another non-eating bean week, to be honest. So that's our first different pick of the night. D-Rose going Tiny Tornado, Tisha Torres, and I am going Tabitha Baby Shark Ricci. So we'll move on to the next fight. That is one of the most electrifying fighters you will ever see enter the octagon, T-Rex Terrence McKinney. And he is going to be taking on Esteban El Gringo Ribovics. That's what I'm called, from time to time. Anyway, currently odds for this fight are plus 138 Terrence McKinney and minus 178 for Esteban Ribovics. Terrence McKinney, 15-6 overall, won 3 of his last 5. Win over basically 2 UFC newcomers, or I guess Mike Breeden wasn't, but Mike Breeden's no longer in the UFC. Not that good. 2 losses to Nazim Sadykhov and Ismail Bonfim, and then also choked out the Ghost Pepper, which isn't too surprising. On the other hand, Esteban Ribovics, 12-1 overall. Only loss is to Loic Radzhabov a year and 2 months ago, where he was just got wrestled a bunch, dude. But it did go via decision, man, and he was still game in that third round. I do remember that fight. I already said odds, so T-Rex, 29 years old, 5'10", and a 73-inch reach, while Esteban Ribovics, 28 years old, 5'10", and a 69-inch reach. D-Rose, how about this? I'll pass it to you. I'll let you break it down. I'm just going like this. This is every T-Rex fight. If the fighter's good enough to be in the UFC, he's probably going to beat T-Rex in the second round. But if he's not good enough to be in the UFC, T-Rex is going to crush him in that first round. So I'll pass it to you. I'll let you break it down. I'll let you make your pick, and then I'll go.
Yeah, I think, good fight on paper. I think, it should be pretty much, I would say pretty much, I wouldn't say a striker's delight per se, but it should be pretty much a scrap on the feet for the most part. I mean, I know Terrence McKinney can take the fight to the ground, and, he is able to work in some submissions, as you've seen over, some of his, few recent wins. He's not scared to take the fight down to the ground and get a submission if he needs to. So he would definitely do that if need be. Esteban, he's got really good striking. He kind of reminds me of like the Basharat brothers to a certain extent, like with his style. Really uses his footwork on the outside, kind of like those stabbing kicks. He's got good combos, but doesn't like to stand in the pocket, likes to kind of stand at his range, his kicking range. I think, but I am in agreement with you. Typically, if T-Rex is not able to get that finish early on, it almost seems like every single time and midway around the beginning, maybe 3.5 minute mark in the second round, all of a sudden you just start seeing that T-Rex gas start emptying. And even for somebody as Esteban, he's not necessarily the pressure fighter to go for the kill immediately. I think there's going to be some openings that T-Rex leaves open in the second round. I'd probably do second or third round knockout, maybe in round combinations on FanDuel, just to cover myself, just in case. But yeah, I think Esteban gets a knockout against Terrence McKinney.
Yeah, me too. Basically, one of the safest bets you could probably make this weekend is Esteban Ribovics round 2. You'd probably be all right just making that bet. Just Esteban Ribovics round 2. You might even be all right making Esteban Ribovics round 2 knockout because, dude, when T-Rex loses, it's like as soon as that first round's over, dude, it's like someone just opened up his gas plug and just let out the rest of his gas and then plugged it back up. Like instead of in between rounds refilling his gas, they just let out the rest of it. Like, what you got left in here? Okay, let's just go ahead and empty this out. Okay, let's plug it back up. That's what it seems like, dude. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I love me some T-Rex. Terrence McKinney is fantastic for the UFC. I enjoy him as a can crusher, but when he's fighting someone that we've seen have a chin that can absorb some damage a little bit, I don't see Terrence winning this fight, man. I personally have Esteban Ribovics round 2 knockout. I don't think we got odds for that yet. Of course not. But at minus 178, dude, I don't even mind that as a very nice parlay piece, man. Here we go. Let's see what you guys are saying. You guys are just laughing. All right. All right. Cool. You guys are talking about movies. All right. So we will move on. Oh, shit. I didn't have the next one pulled up. I've been having the next one pulled up. I wasn't ready for this one. I guess I'll let you go first, so I didn't.
They're talking about movies.
And I wasn't pulling it up. Another fun one here, D-Rose. Fun fight card this is. We have Chase the Dream Hooper taking on Slavaklav. Vyacheslav Barshev, dude. What a name. You know, if there's one thing that, watching MMA and UFC has done is open my eyes to world geography and pronunciation of very weird names, man. So, thank you, UFC. Thank you. Anyway, we got Chase Hooper, 13-3-1 overall out of his last 5 fights. He is 3-2. Vyacheslav Barshev, me and you watched this one side by side against Nazim Sadykhov, dude. The fight ended up going to a majority draw, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe
crazy fight.
Slavakov had 10-8 third. What was it? 10-8 in the third, I think it was.
I think it was more.
Or Nas had the 10-8 first, and then Slavakov won the last 2. Yeah, that's what it was.
Because he rocked him and he almost finished him. We were like, oh shit, dude. But yeah, dude, Slavaklov's takedown defense has for sure gotten a lot better, dude. Anyway, Slavaklov 7-3-1 overall out of his last 5 fights. 1-2, lost 2, and a draw. Currently, odds for this fight are plus 120 for Chase Hooper and minus 154 for Vyacheslav Barshev or Slavaklav. Chase Hooper, 24 years old, 6'1" and a 74-inch reach, while Slavaklav is 32 years old, 5'11" and a 69-inch reach. Yeah, D Rose. I just who was it that Chase Hooper fought that just beat his shit in? Was it Mobley? Steve Garcia. Yeah, dude. I mean, if Steve Garcia does that to you, man, what's Slavaklav's going to do to you? And as I said, dude, Slavaklav's takedown defense, since he's came to the UFC and fighting Mark DeCasey, has got significantly better training at Alpha or Alpha Male, whatever they're called, dude. So he knows what everyone's goal is, to go in there and take him down, dude. The thing is, Chase Hooper doesn't really have to take you down, dude. He's one of those guys that can just grab you and just fall, and you end up on the ground in some sort of sub, dude. This is going to be a good fight. But I think at some point, Slavaklav ends up standing back up too many times to where fucking like Chase Hooper's like, all right, I'm not getting this guy down and I'm not going to keep him down. I'm going to have to stand with him. And that's going to be the biggest mistake of his life, dude, because I think Slava Claus is going to box his fucking ears off. So give me Slava Claus to probably win this fight via second or third round knockout. Which way are you going here, man? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think honestly we're on the same wavelength as this one as well. I think, Slava Claus, as you said, takedown defense has gotten a lot better, and I think, in that Nasty Nas fight, that was kind of, I think, a very good a test fight for him to show that the dude is able to, talk about Slava Claus here, he was able to take the damage that he was from Nazim Sadikov there early in that fight, and he was able to kind of withstand the storm and win those last 2 rounds as well. So yeah, I think, when you're able to kind of go through that type of adversity against, in which I think Nazim Sadikov, I think you can make the argument at this point, a better wrestler than a Chase Hooper per se. Chase Hooper has the better submissions, no doubt. But I think as far as getting the fight to the ground is where Chase Hooper is going to struggle at. And as you said, Slava Claus training at Team Alpha, so they're working as far as like not trying to set himself up to get pulled into guard or something like that. And I just think as far as the boxing goes, we already know that Slava Claus's boxing is next level. And as far as the UFC goes,
delivers those packages to the body, dude. I
Dude,
love
those
them.
rib roasters, dude. Those rib roasters he got are absolutely nasty. I mean, that
Think
dude.
about how big Chase Hooper's torso is, dude.
I mean, dude, you want to talk about having some damn ribs on Saturday, boys? If y'all want some ribs, go ahead and check out that Chase Hooper fight. Because I mean, yeah, Slava Claus is going to have ribs a roasting. Let me tell you. And I think Slava Claus gets it done too. I think Chase Hooper's. Yeah, I want to say Chase Hooper can survive, but yeah, I think ultimately, I think Slava Claus probably puts on a little bit too much pressure and eventually gets a late stoppage, maybe to the body.
All right. Me and you on the same page, dude, on that one. So we'll move on to the next one where we have Salsa Boy or Air Humper Boy versus Andre Arlovsky, dude. That fight pissed me off. Anyway, we've got Salsa Boy versus the Big Boy. We've got a lot of boys in this fight, D-Rose. Waldo Cortez Acosta, Salsa Boy, is 11-1 overall, while Robelis de Spain, or the Big Boy, is 5-0 overall. And all of his fights combined together have gone like maybe a minute and a half, dude. Absolutely nuts. Anyway, Salsa Boy, 11-1. His only loss ever is to Marcus Rogerio Pezao de Lima, where he did get taken down quite a few times. On the other hand, the Big Boy is obviously 5-0, never lost in his UFC debuts. Snooze Josh Parisian going backwards on a off-balance punch, dude. So crazy power. He is a Cuban bronze medalist Taekwondo fighter, player. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, currently odds for this fight are plus 168 for Waldo Cortez Acosta and minus 220 for Robelis de Spain. The line has moved since I made my bet with Robelis parlayed up, D-Rose. Waldo Cortez is 32 years old, 6'4", and a 78-inch reach, while the Big Boy, Robelis de Spain, is 35 years old, 6'7", and an 87-inch reach. Dude.
Ridiculous.
I mean, I think personally, I hope this is punishment on Waldo Cortez Acosta. I hope the UFC is like, oh, you want to air hump our legend of Andre Arlovsky throughout the whole last fight? Bet. We're going to match you up against this new giant newcomer that is fucking just a superhuman, dude. It makes no sense. Yoel Romero mixed with Francis Ngannou. That's exactly what Robelis de Spain is, dude. It makes no sense. Yeah, dude. All of his fights haven't went past like a minute and a half. So what does he look like past a minute and a half? We don't know. But I'm not going to step in front of this train to find out. So give me Robelis to probably knock out Waldo Cortez Acosta in the first round. Which way are you going here, D-Rose?
tough fight for me to pick.
I mean, you did pick Josh Parisian to beat Robelos to Spain in his last fight, so
I did. I said if I got past the first minute in the first round, I was curious to see how it would go. And yeah, Josh Parisian. Why I thought he was going to last that long, I have no idea. Waldo Cortez Acosta. I mean, dude, he's looked good in the UFC so far, and he's fought good competition. Yeah, man. If I'm gonna pick Josh Parisian, I gotta pick Waldo Cortez Acosta, right? Like, I mean, I guess I have to at this point. You know, I gotta kind of commit.
like you're using my logic.
Right? Yeah. And normally I don't. Normally I learn my lesson a lot sooner. But yeah, I'm not going to jump on ship too quickly for Rebellious to Spain again. Just 5 fights. I mean, I know that he has the decorated striking background that he does. But just as far as being in the UFC, I mean, Waldo Cortez Acosta has gone the distance plenty where Rebellious to Spain never has. So that's what's kind of got me worried. But yeah, give me Waldo Cortez Acosta. We're gonna go for the dog on this one.
All right, so our second different pick of the night, we've got D Rose going Waldo Cortez Acosta, and I am going Robelis to Spain. So we'll move on to the next fight, D Rose, and we have another interesting one. 2 guys that I'm a fan of. So who am I going to pick? Who am I going to pick? We've got Sean the Sniper Woodson taking on Bruce Leroy Caceres. So Bruce Leroy is 21-14, been doing this damn thing forever. Out of his last 5 fights, he is 3-2. Lost his last fight against Giga Chikadze 8 months ago. But before that, decision win over Daniel Pereira. Knocked out Julian Arosa, lost to Sadiq Yusuf, and rear naked choke over Sungwoo Choi 2.5 years ago. On the other hand, Sean the Sniper Woodson, 11-1-1. This split draw to Luis Saldana should be an L, let's be honest. But D-Rose, I went back and looked back into that fight, and I saw it was like a mini documentary or some shit, dude. That fight week, dude, his mom got like, I don't want to say arrested, but like taken into custody by like the FBI because her company was like doing some shady shit, dude. So I'm sure he had a lot of shit on his mind during that entire fight week. So, you know, maybe that's something to look into against the Luis Saldana fight, because in his last fight against Charles Jourdain, I was looking into that fight a lot. I was like, man, Luis Saldana ain't even as good as Charles Jourdain is. But even a split decision, dude, I thought I had a bet on Charles Jourdain in that fight, and I thought Sean Woodson easily won that fight, dude. I thought it was a stretch to even for it to be a split decision. But yeah, Sean Woodson, 11-1-1 overall. Yeah, dude, pretty good fighter and huge for featherweight. Currently odds for this fight plus 164. Alex Caceres minus 215 for Sean Woodson. Alex Caceres, 35 years old, 5'10" and a 73-inch reach. This is Sean Woodson's hometown in St. Louis, Missouri. He is fighting out of St. Louis. I don't know if he was born in St. Louis, but I do know that he was born ready. He is 31 years old, 6'2" and a 78-inch reach. Yeah, D Rose, I'm gonna let you break this one down. I kind of already gave a little insight, a little preview on it. I'm gonna let you make your pick, and then I'll go here.
Yeah, I think I think at this point for Bruce Leroy, always has been super tough, always has fought. I mean, you can go down, all the dudes that he's fought, and he's kind of up there. Not necessarily say with the Dustin Poiriers and RDAs and Edson Barbosas, but that dude's got a hell of a hit list on his opponents that he's fought, win or lose. He's been in the UFC for a long time, been doing this damn thing for a little bit, and he's looked good as he's kind of getting older now. Kind of develops a little bit more of his submission game, but he's still got the weird, awkward kicks and striking as well. And but I think Sean Woodson, just a younger guy, good, super clean boxing, and people don't give him enough credit. His takedown defense is very, very good. I mean, it's going to take a very, very good type of wrestler, one of the Dagestani or an Olympic wrestler type that's going to be able to go in there and take him down. That dude's takedown defense is absolutely lights out. And for him to be such a linky guy, he does really good about working his boxing and his range and not really getting hit too cleanly for the most part as well. So I think Sean Woodson wins the decision here.
All right. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to say anything too different. I think a lot of people that are on Alex Caceres this week are expecting Alex Caceres to get Sean Woodson down and maybe take his back. And although I could see it happening, dude, as you said, we've seen Sean Woodson fight these like fucking Russian dudes and them still not being able to get him down, dude. He's kind of got lights out takedown defense and 6'2" for 145. Just a huge dude. So I am with you, dude. Give me Sean the Sniper Woodson to win this fight via decision. It ain't going to be pretty. It might be pretty boring, but, it's going to be a very technical striking match. And so give me Sean the Sniper Woodson, the way better boxer of the two and very good at range management. Give me Sean Woodson to win this fight in his hometown via decision. Me and you are on the same one here, D-Rose.
Here comes your guy. One of your other favorites.
Nah. I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
One of your other favorites, Diego Ferreira.
Anyway, up next, we do have Carlos Diego Ferreira taking on Matus Rabisti Raumbetsky. Carlos Diego Ferreira is 18-5 overall. In his last fight, he got lucky a year ago and knocked out Michael Johnson after losing the entire fight. But that's how Michael Johnson loses, right, D-Rose?
Does good until he doesn't.
Yeah, and before that, lost to Matus Gamrot, lost to Gregor Gillespie, and lost to Benny D 3 years ago. It doesn't really matter before that. On the other hand, Matus Raumbetsky, 19-1 overall, staying really active. 5 months ago, Roosevelt Roberts armbar sub. Before that, Luik Razabov knockout, which Luik Razabov is a good fighter as well. Nick Fior, not a good fighter, let's be honest. And then on the contender series, rear naked choke. Man, yeah, currently odds for this fight are plus 285 for Diego Ferreira and minus 400 for Matus Raumbetsky, dude. So I'm glad I made my bets earlier in the week because odds have definitely changed, man. Carlos Diego Ferreira fighting out of McAllen, Texas. That's a fun fact, D-Rose. That's my girlfriend's hometown. It's about 20 minutes from Mexico. But nice. He is 39 years old, 5'9", and a 74-inch reach, while Matus Raumbetsky is 31 years old, 5'7", and a 66-inch reach, dude. So Matus Raumbetsky got pretty short arms, but I don't think it matters because Carlos Diego Ferreira is ass. So give me Matus Raumbetsky to knock out Carlos Diego Ferreira. Maybe second round, dude. But let me say this. If he goes in there with the game plan of wrestling, dude, I'm not going to feel comfortable about it because if there's a way that Carlos Diego Ferreira can still win, dude, we saw Anthony Smith do it this past weekend. You fucking put your head in a guillotine, dude, you're just dumb. I think Matus Raumbetsky is way better on the feet and has the knockout power to get Carlos Diego Ferreira out of there. And we saw him against the Michael Johnson in his last fight, dude. He was like shying away from getting hit, dude. It didn't look good. So, yeah, give me Matus Raumbetsky to knock out Diego Ferreira. Which way are you going here, man?
See, I see it as of course, I think Matus Raumbetsky is going to win, but I think that also at the same time, I think he does end up using his wrestling, but I just think that he doesn't end up.
God, I hope not.
I just think that he does. I think he uses his boxing as well as his wrestling, but I think you are going to see. It's not. I don't think he's going to use it from beginning to end, but there are going to be moments where you're probably going to be pulling out your hair because he's going to be going for takedowns when maybe he's winning exchanges on the feet. But I do think that he's going to be a little bit more well-rounded everywhere. And I do think that Diego Ferreira, for his jiu-jitsu, he is more dangerous when he's initiating the grappling, kind of initiating the wrestling more than he is kind of off his back. So I think that's where Raumbetsky can do well as far as the wrestling goes as well. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go decision though. I think you're going to see a lot of scrambles from the two. I think Diego Ferreira is going to end up surviving, but I think Mateo Rebetsky gets a decision here.
Yeah, if he goes with his wrestling game plan, dude, he's going to end up gassing, which means that he could get submitted, dude, and I don't like it. I don't like it, dude.
Now these dudes are always trying to show they're better in all aspects.
Yeah.
Looks
Looks like Daniel Vasquez, got some new cards. Congratulations, Daniel. Hopefully you got some sick stuff, brother. Just kind of talking back and forth. UFC Midnight comes out this upcoming week, so you guys can look forward to that. I got a box coming. It's only one pack of cards, like 8 cards, so will be a very short video. But yeah, D-Rose, let's move on to the next fight of the night, where we got a good one. We have Atomic Alonzo Menifield taking on the Black Jaguar, Carlos Ulberg. Alonzo Menifield, 15-3-1 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, I believe that's a majority draw decision with Jimmy Crute, and then rematched him and then took care of business early. So pretty much in his last 5 fights, he's undefeated for the most part. Same for Carlos Ulberg. So Alonzo Menifield, 15-3-1. Carlos Ulberg, 9-1. Currently odds for this fight are plus 215 for Alonzo Menifield and minus 290 for Carlos Ulberg. Oh, I don't like those odds, D-Rose. Anyway, currently, Alonzo Menifield, 36 years old, 6 foot and a 76-inch reach, while Carlos Ulberg, 33 years old, 6'4" and a 77-inch reach. D-Rose, I do have this parlayed, and I do have Carlos Ulberg, but I liked the odds. Actually, I don't have Carlos Ulberg. Yeah, that's probably smart. I have Kevin Jusay. Yeah, I have Kevin Jusay. That's the one that I didn't feel too confident about, but I still put it in there. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm confident that I don't know what's happening here. I'm going to say it like that, dude. Because, dude, something tells me that, as weird as this sounds, this Pat Barry, Alonzo, like fucking Menifield, it's almost like he's just getting the attention that he needs to be this fantastic fighter that's kind of been showing up, man. And if Alonzo Menifield gets Carlos Ulberg down, dude, what's going to happen? So give me Carlos Ulberg to win by knockout at some point, dude, but I don't feel comfortable in this fight at all. Which way are you going here?
Yeah, the way I don't feel going comfortable the most is probably the method, because if you look at even in Ulberg's last fight against was it Daun Jung, right? Yeah, where at the end of the fight, ended up going all 3 rounds, and I know he ended up getting the submission, right at the end of the fight, but yeah, I think overall, it was at the very end of the fight, So yeah, I think Carlos Ulberg, we've seen him go late into fights. Something that he doesn't want to do. Alonzo Menifield, dude's an absolute powerhouse, good wrestling, good power in his punches. Just don't think he's as clean of the striker. And dude, Carlos Ulberg's hand speed looks like he's fighting down at 155. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. And we talk about, some dangerous weapons, as far as a particular weapon. We talk about left hooks, obviously Alex Pereira. Go over to boxing. We're talking about Ryan Garcia with his left hook. We're going to start throwing Carlos Ulberg up there as one of the best left hooks in the game, dude. I mean, that left hook is absolutely nasty. He could throw it going forward. He could throw it going backwards. He could throw it behind a jab. So it's absolutely nuts the way that he could throw that left hook from different angles and hurt you every time. And I think there's a chance that he could end up landing one of those bombs if Alonzo Menifield gets a little sloppy going in there for a takedown. So I'm going to say maybe let's go finish round 2 or 3 for Ulberg. I'm going to say knockout. But I would not be surprised if it did end up going decision. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, Fair enough. Yeah, dude. I guess I'm just worried. If I'm gonna parlay this, I would just be worried that Minifield just takes him down, dude. And you know what does Carlos Holberg look like off his back? We ain't seen it yet, so I don't know, man. I don't know. It just has me pretty worried. So we'll move on to the co-main event because me and D Rose are both on the Black Jag Carlos Holberg. Co-main event is New Mansa Joaquin Buckley taking on Nursultan Black Rizaboev. What an odd fight name. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
what an odd fight.
Yeah, dude. New Mansa Joaquin Buckley, 18-6 overall out of his last 5 fights. He has won 3 of his last 5 and won his last 3 fights down at 170 pounds. So ever since he's dropped down to 170, he is undefeated with a knockout over Andre Fiallo, which isn't really saying a lot. Decision win over Alex Morono. Okay. And then that Vicente Luque fight, dude, I don't know what that was. On the other hand, Nursultan Rizaboev has only fought up at 185. And, just in the UFC, he has knocked out Bruno Ferreira and then eye poked and then knocked out Cedric Dumas, dude. Currently, odds for this fight are minus 150 for Joaquin Buckley and plus 118 for Nursultan Rizaboev. Getting a little bit closer, D-Rose. Getting a little bit closer. Joaquin Buckley, he's fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri, so this is his hometown. He is 30 years old, 5'10" and a 76-inch reach, while Nursultan Rizaboev is 30 years old, 6'5", and also, I believe, got a pretty long reach too. I mean, he's fucking 6'5" at 170. You got to have a long reach. Man. I just, do you remember that? This is how I feel, dude. Do you remember how Jamal Hill was acting before the Alex Pereira fight? This is how Buckley's acting before fighting Nursultan Rizaboev, dude. I'm like, man, Buckley's gonna get knocked out. I've seen him get knocked out too many times, man. Like, here's the way I look at it. I know Chris Curtis isn't the biggest power puncher, and he's not the biggest guy, dude. And the way that he snoozed Buckley, it's like, Jesus Christ, man. I just have worries. If this dude is like a foot taller than you and he can hit you from like 8 inches from where you could even get close to him, how does a jab straight not connect and just knock Buckley out, dude? So yeah, give me Nursultan Rizaboev as the dog to knock out Joaquin Buckley. Let's see if we got props for this. We do, D-Rose. Nursultan Rizaboev to win by knockout, dude, is plus 390. I don't mind that. Nursultan Rizaboev to win by sub, plus 470. He does train with Sean Brady, Joe Pfeiffer up there in Philadelphia, so wouldn't surprise me either. But yeah, dude, I like Nursultan to finish Joaquin Buckley. Maybe it ain't early. Maybe it's knockout 2 or 3. And that Nursultan KO 2 or 3, dude, I might make a straight bet on this. Nursultan Rizaboev KO 2 or 3 is plus 950, dude. I might take a shot at it this weekend. Which way you going here, man?
Yeah, I think this is again, as I said, going into this fight, just a weird matchup. Again, I felt like Joaquin Buckley's trajectory was having him closer towards a top 15 matchup, like top 10 type of matchup at welterweight versus, Nursultan having, what is this, his 3rd fight in the UFC overall, his 1st at welterweight. And I know that it's a home opportunity for Joaquin Buckley, but at the same time, I don't know. I just felt like the fight doesn't really offer much for him because, if he goes in and wins, well, you're supposed to beat that guy. And if you lose, why the hell did you lose to a guy who only has 3 UFC fights to this point? So it's just a little bit of a weird fight from that angle. But overall, I think, the size disparity is going to be the craziest thing to watch between the two. But crazy enough, dude, even with Nursultan 6'5" and Joaquin Buckley 5'10", dude, both the same reach of 76 inches. So That's kind of crazy to actually, when you break it down, to actually think about it like that. I think Joaquin Buckley, more of the explosive athlete, I think, fought the tougher competition. If you look through some of their Sultan's fights, if you actually look at the records of some of those dudes, some of them were. I saw one guy was like 1-6 or something like that in one of his fights, and all the 10 fights that Sultan has won in a row have not gotten out of the first round. I think as long as Joaquin Buckley is able to withstand the storm, we've seen him go the distance a little bit more over his last few fights. I think he's kind of made it like a point of his to kind of let the fight go a little bit later. And yeah, I think as long as he survives that early storm from Sultan, I think it's Joaquin Buckley's fight to lose. So let's say Joaquin Buckley. Let's go third round knockout.
Fair enough, D-Rose. I like that we have a third different pick there. So that's our third different one. So we'll move on to the main event, where we have the Black Beast, Derek Lewis, take it on. I'm not going to try that. Rodrigo Nascimento. Yeah, out of Black Beast's last 5 fights, dude, he's only won 1 against Peizao Rodrigo de Lima, Marcos Rogerio de Lima. And then that terrible Jelton Almeida fight last. Dude, that shit sucked, man. Yeah, on the other hand, Rodrigo Nascimento, 11-1 overall. Dude, he's only lost 1 fight. That's pretty good. Yeah, win over Don't Mays decision. Split decision win over Ilir Latifi. A split decision win over Tanner Bozer. Is that no contest? Alamado was on the juice. Yeah, Alamado was on the juice in that fight. And then this one right here, dude. This right here. You get knocked out by Chris Dawkins, and that's the only time you lose, man. That tells me you ain't fighting nobody with power, dude. And the Black Beast has the power, dude. So let's get into it. Currently, odds for this fight are Derek Lewis minus 172, Rodrigo Nascimento plus 134. So Derek Lewis, the favorite, and Derek Lewis, 39 years old, 6'3", and a 79-inch reach, while Rodrigo Nascimento, 31 years old, 6'2", and an 80-inch reach. So basically, same size men here. And I listened to Derek Lewis' interview this week, and he said, listen, I ain't felt this good in any UFC fight I've ever had. He's like, from any time I was 32, 33, all the way up to 35, I felt like shit. He's like, I've never felt as good as I feel right now. He was like, and I've already made a deal with my coach that said that he has no say-so of what I do in the first minute of the fight. So expect to see some wild shit this weekend. So give me Derek the Black Beast Lewis to knock out Rodrigo Nascimento in probably the first minute in the main event this weekend. Let's go, Black Beast, Derek Lewis.
That howl that he does is like, dude, it's actually kind of like scary. It's like, it's, yeah, dude, he sounds like a legit beast when he does that scream. Yeah, I think, as you said, I think I heard the same Derek Lewis interview that you heard. And honestly, a lot of times, he's kind of laid back, making jokes early on in his press conferences, stuff like that. But dude, he seemed very locked in and focused. I know he's taking some time off from that Jelton Almeida fight, and he defended himself well coming out of that fight. And yeah, people thought he was going to get submitted. He didn't, and good on him. But I do think that, for the most part, his takedown defense has always been pretty good. And as you said, he's pretty good. I know you say it a lot about him just exploding to get up. It was just like whenever he's getting held down. Yeah, he just sits there for a second. He's like, all right, yep, time to get up. And then he'll just, kind of shuck his way up. I think Rodrigo Nascimento, I just think size-wise, I just don't think he has the size to, he could potentially try to work in his wrestling. I just don't think he necessarily. Yeah, I just don't think he really has the size, like the width-wise, that he doesn't really have the girth, you could say, to hold Derek Lewis down. So, yeah, I think Derek Lewis ends up finding one of them bombs. I think Rodrigo goes in for a takedown, and Derek Lewis hits him with one of them uppercuts. It's kind of similar to a Curtis Blades. Maybe to knock him flat out like he did Curtis Blades, but I think he gets something similar. And let's go knockout by Derek Lewis.
Hell yeah. Black Beast, USA in this hoe. Hook 'em horns, baby.
Yeah, no, I tried finding my shirt earlier. But I didn't watch it. Mama have it on this weekend for sure.
Ah, shit, D-Rose. How I had two outfits ready to go for the for the podcast. I had my Charles Energy Johnson skullet ready to go, and I had my Nelly outfit for UFC St. Louis. Oh goodness. All right, D-Rose. So shout out Lush Lobang. Appreciate you, Lush, for keeping track of all of our picks. We only have 3 different ones this week, D-Rose, so there ain't no picking to do. We've got Tabitha Ricci versus Tisha Torres or Tisha Pennington, whichever one she's going to go by. But I got the favorite in that one. Acosta versus Despain. Yep, I got the favorite in that one. And Buckley versus Rizaboev, where I have the dog, D-Rose. Look, I got the dog in one of the 3. So, can't say I got all favorites. So, yeah. How
you might as well with Nick Sultan and Buckley.
How, dude? How? That makes no sense.
That's
not what the odds say. That's not what the odds says. You're Shelly telling me, oh man. Yeah. Anyway, so here we go. So D-Rose, I don't like this. I have 3 bets already. I made one on 5-6. When was 5-6? 2 days ago. So I made one on Monday. I made another one Monday. Okay, so I made these 3 on Monday, dude. So I have a $10 parlay, a $20 parlay, and a $30 parlay so far. So the $10 parlay, once again, made Monday, so odds have changed. And I did I think FanDuel had a profit boost. So it's a plus 25% boost builder, according to FanDuel. So it went from plus 507 to plus 633. It's Veronica Hardy, Kevin Jusay, Tabitha Ricci, and Robelis Despain, all money lines. So minus 131, Veronica Hardy, minus 203, Kevin Jusay, minus 131, Tabitha Ricci, and minus 175 for Robelis Despain. So all of those are way gone at this point. My $20 parlay that I have, it's a 2-leg, plus 447. Charles Johnson at plus 136 and Nursultan Rizaboev at plus 132. So once again, both change a little bit, but it's a 2-leg, $20 to win 109 on that one. And then I have a $30 4-leg, plus 424. Tabitha Ricci, minus 146. Vyacheslav Barshov, minus 158. Robelis Despain, minus 200. And Matus Raumbetsky, minus 370. $30 on that wins 157. So, yeah, I don't know how much more bets I'm going to make before Change to Cheddar on Friday. I will have at least the 2 Change to Cheddar ones on Friday for you guys. But aside from that, I might just have a few straight bets and then just do the 2 giant Change to Cheddar ones for this weekend. Yeah, D-Rose, anything before we get out of here, my guy? You got any bets made or anything? Or are you looking at making any bets?
No, I haven't made too many just yet. Waiting for more kind of props to drop. I'm kind of waiting for more kind of like round props at this point. That's where I've been kind of, been able to kind of make a little bit more, like I hit Yasmin Lucindo by decision. That was one that I was kind of big on going in the last week. So I'm kind of waiting for maybe a few of those more props to drop before I start placing any bets. I'm not super heavy on anything so far, but yeah, waiting on these round props to drop so I can feel just a smidge more comfortable.
Yeah, I got you, man. I feel the same. I'll probably wait for the props to open up because I like that Esteban round 2 anyway. Probably by knockout round 2. I can't wait for that one to open up either. So with that being said, you guys, we appreciate each and every single one of you for taking the time out of your night to stop by and hang out with Matt and D-Rose over here on the Golden Octagon. If y'all haven't already, please do us a favor. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys. And I will be here for Change the Cheddar on Friday. D-Rose, feel free to join me. But, It's always up to you, my guy. Let's run through the chat one more time. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you, Lush, for stopping by and hanging out with us here tonight. Stay safe, everyone, and see you Friday for Change the Cheddar. Indeed. I appreciate a bag of rice. All right. I'm hungry. All right. See you guys next time, brothers. Appreciate y'all stopping by, hanging out with us here tonight. All right, y'all. With that being said, we'll catch everyone. I will catch everyone Friday. D-Rose maybe. But I'll be here Friday for Change the Cheddar. Get all of my post weigh-in bets and picks. We'll go through, take a look at the weigh-in photos and all that, and I'll give you my last minute picks and then bets, and then give you guys a chance to win some free UFC cards on a fight. And then we'll continue it on next week. So with that being said, D-Rose, anything else?
No, man. I think we're good, man. Let's hopefully make some money this weekend.
Hell yeah. I love it. So with that being said, we'll catch y'all later. My name is Matt. D-Rose is on that side of your screen, and we will catch y'all next week for the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast next Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.